Welcome back, good citizens. Caroline here. As we continue our look into the Bill of Rights and other amendments, we will take some time to look at 5 that you will hopefully never have to use. Today we will look at Amendments 4 through 8, all of which focus on the rights of those suspected, accused, and convicted of a crime. These were added to the Constitution to maintain your protection and privacy. All rise! The evidence is in, and today's objectives are clear. First, let's review why these amendments were created, then explain the rights and protections guaranteed in each. Let's start with the why. Like the others in the Bill of Rights, these amendments were created because of unfair actions by the British government against the colonists. For example, the Coercive Acts, called intolerable by the colonists, limited the ability of colonial courts to try British officials. A governor, appointed by the king, could move trials to other colonies or even to Great Britain. So when British officials committed acts against colonial residents, even if the matter went to trial, it was hard for witnesses to attend, often resulting in a biased jury and an unfair trial. Another example is the Stamp Act, which sent those who did not pay taxes to a naval court, which was designed for offenses on the sea. This made little sense and infuriated colonists. Unfair trials are mentioned even in the Declaration of Independence. One of Thomas Jefferson's grievances states, "For depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury," referring to British actions. Additionally, the invasion of privacy brought about by the Quartering Act contributed to James Madison's additions to the Constitution. Those feelings led the founders to create these amendments to ensure fairness for individuals suspected, accused, and even convicted of a crime or wronged by others. The Fourth Amendment focuses on privacy for citizens. The first words state, "The rights of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated." That statement means that people have a right to privacy, which includes their homes, their belongings, and their bodies. That right should not be disregarded unless there is a really good reason, such as proof of a crime. The Fourth Amendment goes on to say that probable cause, which is some sort of proof, is needed in most cases to search or seize, meaning take, someone's property. In most cases, a warrant, which is an order from a judge, is needed. There are exceptions, of course, such as when a person consents, or when evidence is in plain view, or in issues of safety, such as security checkpoints in airports. Counter to the simplicity of the Fourth Amendment is the Fifth, which guarantees 5 rights and protections for citizens. First, it states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property. Sound kind of familiar? Without due process of law, which means everyone gets a fair trial. Included also is a double jeopardy clause, which says defendants can be tried only once in court for the same specific offense. It protects citizens from repeated attempts at prosecution, requiring that relevant evidence must be collected and presented at trial. It states that evidence for accusations of felonies, which are more severe crimes, must first be presented to a grand jury, which is a group of people who meet to determine whether enough proof is present for a trial to occur. Included also is the takings clause, which allows the government to take private property for public use, but the government must pay a fair price for it. This concept, called eminent domain, allows the government to purchase property to use for things like highways, military posts, and national parks. And of course, citizens have the right to decline to answer questions that might provide evidence against themselves or their spouse, a protection referred to as pleading the Fifth. The Sixth Amendment offers even more rights and protections for individuals accused of a crime. First of all, it guarantees a speedy and public trial. This ensures fairness in court proceedings while also preventing the government from jailing an individual for a long time before a trial. It guarantees a trial by an impartial jury. This means a group of people who have no bias for or against the person accused, or circumstances of the crime will determine the verdict or result of the trial. The Sixth demands that citizens be informed of the charges against them. How can you defend yourself if you don't know what you're accused of? Similarly, if you're suspected of a crime, you have the right to know who's accusing you. Again, you can better defend yourself this way. The sixth guarantees that you have the right to call witnesses in your defense. Both sides are able to present evidence this way to get all sides of the story. Finally, this amendment states that citizens have the right to assistance of counsel. This means you can have a lawyer present to guide you through all stages of the legal process. Basically, you can get expert advice. The Seventh Amendment is fairly brief in its protections and rights for citizens, but it is also quite specific. The amendment states, in suits at common law where the value of controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. What that means is this. If you file a lawsuit against a person or business, or if someone sues you, then you have the right to a jury trial. A lawsuit alleges wrongdoing, but may not involve a crime. Now, you may have heard the part about $20. Technically, that is still true, but understand that $20 in the early 1790s is equal to more than $600 now. Also, if the dispute is between two parties, individuals or businesses, from different states or countries, then the amount in question must be more than $75,000. And no decision made by a jury in such a civil case can be tried again in a different U.S. court. This is a result of common law practices, which are customary court practices that date back to the Middle Ages in Europe. The Seventh Amendment maintains the Founding Fathers' desire to provide the option of a trial by jury to ensure fairness and protect individuals from a verdict from a biased judge. Finally, the Eighth Amendment is part of the Bill of Rights and serves mostly as a protection for individuals who are convicted or found guilty of a crime. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. That is the Eighth in its entirety. Translated, it means that the punishment should fit the crime. It prohibits excessive fines, which is money paid as punishment for breaking the law, such as a speeding ticket. The Eighth also forbids punishments that are cruel and unusual. I wondered why wooden stocks are no longer used. Lastly, the Eighth protects citizens from excessive bail, which is money someone accused of a crime can pay to be released from jail until their trial. This prevents an abuse of power by judges. It's no coincidence that Amendments 4 through 8, a full half of the Bill of Rights, all deal with rights and protections related to the court system. James Madison and the Founding Fathers did this specifically to guarantee fairness for individuals accused of wrongdoing or who had been wronged by others. As we continue our look at the amendments to the Constitution, keep an eye out for other rights and protections guaranteed to citizens. Until then, vote, debate, and participate, good citizens, and remember to always be clever.
Hey!